Hello, fellow Minecrafters. Gearsaw Studios here. Today I'm going to show you how to build a cartography room in Minecraft. Because since the next update is going to be caves and cliffs, you might want to add some maps so that way you can see your environment better. And the best way to do that is building a cartography room. So before I begin, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. But with that, onto the tutorial. To build this cartography room, you'll probably need a palette, so that way you can stay on track of what you want to build. My palette is going to include dark oak, because woodland mansions, and the exploration update, birch, because it complements the dark oak, stripped dark oak logs as an accent, and maybe stone bricks. But this might not actually be used in the build, so don't gather too much. But with these 4 blocks, we will build this cartography room, which is 14 by 14 by 7 in the slash fill, or 15 by 15 by 8, which makes it pretty decently sized. You don't have to make it this big, but this is so you can build everything you'll need. But with that, it's time to begin building. The first thing you should do in this room is change the flooring. Or, if you haven't built it yet, you can just build it like this. Since the floor is better as birch, you should probably replace the floor as birch planks. But if the entire thing is birch planks, it won't look good. So I recommend lining the edges with normal dark oak logs. This will provide some variance, and it will give it more of a structural frame. So do that. Now, with this floor in, the lantern should probably be moved, but you can't just put it anywhere, which means I'm going to build a table. I'm going to make it out of dark oak, and I'm going to have chairs surrounding it. So, since I placed the lantern right here in the middle of the room, I can place chairs around the table in the form of stairs, all at the same distance rather easily. And move the lantern. And now we have a table. Once I place down the final stair, this table is done, and it might not look the best. It could be changed later on in the video, but it's still a table, and it's a better place to put the lantern for now. Now, for another thing for this room on the functional side, it's a rather unique idea, placing down villagers in this room. And I'm going to decorate the small cages, I guess, that I'll put them in later. But the important thing is you have villagers in the room. And make sure that they're secure. And what these villagers will do is they'll trade with you. As you can see, they'll trade the map trade. And once you level these guys up, this librarian will sell glass. And if zombified, it can be very cheap to sell to this guy, who will take glass panes. Along with that, glass panes are useful for cartography, which makes these 2 villagers a very good thing to add. After designing a quick pen for these villagers are now in a proper containment unit that can be used to trade with them. And this is why they are essential. After trading with this guy a couple of times, you can trade for the glass trade, which you can go over to this crafting table, turn it into glass panes, come over to this guy, also the fences are used to collect XP, and as you can see, I have gained a couple of glass panes, and if these guys have been zombified and cured, it's an infinite money farm, due to the fact that the glass panes would only be like 5. So that's why these are so useful to keep in here. And now that you have these guys in here, you can continue working on the rest of the build. Now, for this part of the tutorial, we're going to focus more on the lighting aspect of this build. Because now with some villagers in here, lighting becomes very important to prevent zombies from spawning in here and ruining your emerald station, along with limiting access to maps. So place down the lantern. You can decorate it a little, like this, placing stairs around it. There's a couple of things you could do, but I'm going to do this. And now the room is a little bit better lit, but you still need some more lighting, which means it's time to place down some little tables of sorts at the corners. This could be changed, but I think it's a good temporary thing until the rest of the build is finished, or it could stay, who knows. But this room is much better lit now, which means we can start making the map walls. It may seem like you should put the map at the center, but it would actually be a lot more space efficient to put it at the sides, right here, because a big window would also be a nice focal point. So repeat this on both sides. Now, with this in, it's time to place down some item frames. These will be filled with maps later because that is a little time consuming and will be done off camera. So make sure that they're glow item frames so that way you don't have strange lighting issues. And because this middle part doesn't have a map, place down a big old window right here. It will provide some nice natural light, but I think this room's pretty well lit already. And it will just provide some much needed center point of the build while giving a view to the outside. So decorate the window however you want, and once you're done, come back to the tutorial. Now with some added trapdoors, there's an idea if you have a room that's big enough to support it. Since you can place 2 item frames in one block, it might be worth moving these item frame map walls 1 block closer. Although they overlap with the window, it would allow you to add more maps in the form of adding them to the side wall over here. So if you can, I'd recommend it. Now, with the maps filled out, this room looks absolutely amazing, containing different parts of the world, including a giant tree taiga badlands, a random place 1,000 blocks away, the place where I record my videos, which includes this spot, and a jungle. I would replicate the maps and the things on this side of the room, but it takes a long time to fill out maps, so I'm not going to do that completely. So I'm just going to place down the frames and the glow item frames, but I'm not going to put in any maps because it just takes a long time. Or actually, I'll just reuse these ones. But either way, it would be a good idea to replicate what you have here on this side, so I'm going to do that. Now, with these maps being reused on this wall, and me realizing that I messed up on this map right here, these walls are basically done, and there's one final detail you can add. In the center of this table, have a cartography table because it looks like it's just part of the table or something someone left on it, along with being something you can interact with your maps. Along with that, another thing is you might want to install a barrel, like in the enchanting room video. This could be used to carry maps or glass panes. And it doesn't look too out of place by being a similar color tone to dark oak. But with that, now the walls themselves, not just decorations, have to be done, which will mainly be adding logs to the bottom. Now, with the walls touched up and small windows added behind these villagers, I called this room done, serving all of its purposes, having some glass pane producers, along with an infinite emerald station and some explorer maps being sold by this villager, which will allow you to do more exploring, and a storage unit, along with a cartography table and places to display all of the greatest maps you've created. Now this room is done, and it's the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. So, with that, take care, keep on exploring, Gearsaw out.